There are now 3 confirmed lineup changes for the NASCAR Cup race in Bristol, and one of them was not expected to occur so soon. There are 3 genuine changes to the Food City 500 entry list following the Easter break. And going into Sunday, one of those adjustments might significantly shift the narrative. This is what transpired. Following Martinsville, NASCAR took its first off weekend of the 2026 Cup season, giving teams a unique opportunity to regroup, recuperate, and rearrange schedules before Bristol. We already know that the Cup field has undergone 3 changes since the last race thanks to the release of the entry list. One key driver has returned earlier than anticipated, 1 car has vanished, and 1 open car has returned. And today, we are dissecting precisely that. The 3 confirmed lineup changes for Sunday's Food City 500 at Bristol Motor Speedway will be discussed one by one, along with the reasons behind them, their implications for the race, and which of them may end up being much more significant than most people realize. Bristol is not the kind of venue where you can just slip a driver or a car in and expect it to not matter, so I also want to discuss the larger competitive environment here. Everything is revealed at Bristol. Let's set the scene before we discuss the actual changes. The Food City 500 on Sunday, April 12th, at Bristol Motor Speedway, will be covered by FS1. The official race page lists 37 teams that have entered the 500-lap Cup race at one of the sport's most competitive short tracks. The green flag was set just after 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern, M. This is significant because each entry stands out more when there are just 37 cars in the field and just 1 open team. A Bristol entry list has nowhere to hide. And to be honest, I believe that's why the adjustments this week are more intriguing than they initially appear. Okay, 1 open car out, 1 open car in, and 1 driver comes back, is what people would state on paper. However, if you keep a careful eye on this sport, you will see that lineup changes are more than simply paperwork. They reveal who is healthy and who is not, where teams are confident and cautious, and occasionally which groups are willing to take chances in a town as harsh as Bristol. This is when things start to get interesting. Let's begin with the first change that has been verified. The Bristol entry list does not include the number 33 Richard Childress Racing Chevrolet. Austin Hill drove that vehicle for RCR at Martinsville 2 weeks ago. There were 37 cars entered for the Martinsville race, and Hill was listed as number 33 on the official NASCAR entry list. However, Bristol no longer has that number 33. This weekend, it is not included in the field. That's the first thing we've changed. Austin Hill is no longer on the roster for the Martinsville Cup. Because open entries are constantly changing, fans sometimes forget that, but this one is still noteworthy. There will be 1 fewer RCR-affiliated bullet in the field this weekend because Richard Childress Racing chose not to bring an extra Cup vehicle back for Bristol. And that, in my opinion, has more significance than it first appears. Given Hill's experience in the O'Reilly series and the fact that the extra start provided RCR with a 3rd entry, Martinsville made sense for him. But the challenge in Bristol is entirely different. This location has a quicker beat and harsher traffic, and is completely cruel if you unload even a small amount. Therefore, I usually see a team's choice to not bring an extra open car back here as a very deliberate one rather than a coincidental scheduling quirk. The opposite side of that open car shuffle is now the second verified change. Chad Fincham is the driver of the number 66 Garage 66 Ford, which has returned to the field. Fincham is the only open entry in the 37-car field this weekend, since he is listed as number 66 for Garage 66 on the official Bristol Cup entry list. The same is stated on JK's Bristol race page. There are 37 teams registered, and number 66 with Fincham is the only open team. The second change is that the number 66 is back for Bristol, but it wasn't in the Martinsville field. Not only is it returning, but Fincham is seated for the first time this season. This one is particularly intriguing because Chad Fincham at Bristol isn't a coincidental pairing. He is a driver from Tennessee. One of the most well-known tracks in the area is Bristol. Additionally, this is the kind of event where attendance is crucial for a smaller team like Garage 66. You're not only occupying a position, you're placing a driver in one of the most prominent venues for the sport, and you're hoping that the weekend will be more than just an exercise in participation. And if you have been following Underdog Cup efforts for long enough, you are aware of Bristol's typical objective. The goal is not to prevail. Sniffing the top 20 is not even necessary. Survival is the primary objective. The second is to avoid getting involved in the mess. The third is to take positions when things go chaotic, since Bristol always gives someone an opportunity to do better simply by keeping up with the rest of the field. That's where a vehicle like the 66 might subtly enter the narrative. Now, please do me a favor before I move on to the most significant lineup modification. Click like, subscribe, and share the channel if you like these NASCAR Central reports and would want more Cup news, driver updates, replacements, lineup changes, and all the major headlines from around the garage. For videos like these, we aim for 500 likes and 4,000 subscribers. And this support actually contributes to the growth of this channel. Let's move on to the most significant of the three changes, since this one has the potential to genuinely alter fans' perceptions of the entire Bristol weekend. For Hendrick Motorsports, Alex Bowman is back in the number 48. According to the official NASCAR report, Bowman has been given the all-clear to resume Cup competition at Bristol after missing the previous 4 races due to vertigo issues that started during the Circuit of the Americas race on March 1st. Before releasing him unrestricted, Hendrick Motorsports had him do laps in a street car at 10 Motor Club, pit practice simulator work, and a medical assessment. For this reason, the third alteration is the most significant. It was not anticipated that Bowman would return so quickly. 1 week ahead of schedule, his return essentially puts a stop to the number 48 substitute run. After Anthony Alfredo raced Phoenix and Matt Cinder completed the COTA event, Justin Allgaier filled in at Las Vegas, Darlington, and Martinsville before Bowman left. However, Hendrick now has its usual driver back for Bristol. This is significant because, in contrast to the open car changes, this is more than just a field number detail. Hendrick Motorsports does not make unintentional roster changes, and this is a significant organization getting one of its full-time Cup drivers back. Bowman's return indicates that the organization feels he is actually prepared, not merely medically approved on paper. According to Jeff Andrews, the organization placed a high priority on Bowman's health and wanted him to return only once he had fully recovered. According to Bowman, he feels great and is eager to return to the club. That is significant for a few reasons. First, it restores Hendrick's regular array of 4-car models. Just that alters the weekend's atmosphere. For weeks, the number 48 has been employing a cycle of fill-in drivers to survive while Bowman heals. The team now has continuity again. The driver, the crew leader, the rhythm, everything. That is important in a location like Bristol, where familiarity and self-assurance are crucial when the wall is always waiting for you. Secondly, it alters Bowman's own pressure. After missing 4 races, he is returning. According to NASCAR's report, he has a best result of 23rd in 3 outings this season and is now ranked 36th in the Cup standings. Therefore, he cannot just work himself back into form from 11th in points. This driver and team, who are already struggling, are now attempting to start a season at Bristol, of all places. Bristol is also not kind. Bristol doesn't give a damn that you went out. Bristol doesn't give a damn that you've been experiencing vertigo. Bristol doesn't give a damn that your season hasn't even begun. There is only one question posed by the song. Are you able to complete lap after lap without making a mistake? Bowman's reappearance is such a significant plot point because of this. We're not just keeping an eye on his health. We're looking to see if can make him look like himself again right away. The good news for Bowman is that he has at least some recent Bristol context. According to NASCAR's official Bristol return article, he placed 7th in the race held there in September of last year. That doesn't guarantee anything for this weekend, but it does let you know that he hasn't been completely lost. He has previously demonstrated his ability to run competitively here. However, I believe that not enough people are discussing how challenging this return truly is. It's one thing to miss 4 races. It's quite different to miss 4 races and then return at Bristol. Here, there's no easing into it. Either you are involved in the conflict or you are getting in the way. Additionally, any corrosion is exposed with 500 laps on tap. Any reluctance or discomfort is revealed. Because of this is the only lineup modification that has the potential to significantly impact the entire race. The 3 verified alterations now provide a fairly clear picture of the Bristol pitch when we zoom out. First, after participating in the Martinsville field, Austin Hill's number 33 RCR Chevrolet is no longer available. Chad Fincham is the only open entry for change number 2, the number 66 Garage 66 Ford, this weekend. Alex Bowman's return to the number 48 Hendrick Motorsports Chevrolet, change number 3, ends the substitute run earlier than anticipated. And it seems to be the actual impact order in this case. The first two are intriguing. The third has the potential to shape race. Since Fincham starts the session first and Bowman is already mentioned in Saturday's qualifying order, it is also important to discuss the qualifying position background. That in and of itself demonstrates how quick these changes are. These are not plans for the future. The competitive weekend already includes them. What should fans genuinely keep an eye out for on Sunday, then? Keep an eye on Fincham and the 66 to see if they can escape being involved in an early incident by staying on the lead lap longer than anticipated. That alone would elevate the weekend. It's important to observe how much RCR misses the extra car presence for the 33 who are not present. Information, strategy variation, and strange track positions are all reduced by one entry. And everything is important to Bowman. His practice speed, his qualification speed, whether he appears at ease in traffic, whether the team races aggressively or cautiously, and most importantly, whether the 48 eventually begins to go in the right direction once more. Because Hendrick survived the hiatus and got its driver back just in time, Bowman returns and appears sharp right away. If he falters, the comeback will add to the strain of an already difficult start to the season. For this reason, I believe the Bristol lineup story is more significant than it first seems. It's more than just a list of names. It provides a glimpse of team's current situation, who is attempting to heal, who is tossing the dice, who is parked, and who is in good health. And by lap 100, those small changes can become the entire race narrative in a place like Bristol. For more breaking NASCAR news, lineup modifications, injuries, replacements, controversy, and all the top stories from around the garage, subscribe to NASCAR Central. Please let me know in the comments which Bristol lineup adjustment is most important to you. Chad Fincham receiving the 66, Alex Bowman's comeback, or RCR dropping the number 33 for the